folks, I'm Chris Salisbury with Southern Motor Company. This evening, we're going to do a quick review of this 1980 Porsche 911 SC. Stay with us. We received this vehicle, I guess we got it 3 to 5 months ago, somewhere thereabouts, call it 4 months. When we received the vehicle had been painted. The overhaul had been done over at European Road Racing right here in Charleston. Great folks, great reviews. The fit and finish of the paint wasn't what I would expect or what I'd want. So a lot of these got pulled apart, re-wet sanded and polished. All the little nooks and crannies got a refresh. The trimming all on the windows were still kind of, I guess, the stainless silver. We refreshed all of these. We matched them up with a satin finish, taped them off real nicely, etched it correctly, got pretty close to the right satin color. The windows actually, today is what, Monday, Tuesday? The windows were done, I think, last week sometime. Partly why the windows were done was this back deck, you can't see it through here, of course, but the back deck, one of the speaker covers had a tear in it. By the time I replaced the whole back deck, I could just tint the car. Moving towards the engine compartment. I'm not a Porsche mechanic by any means. I do know I have a list of plenty of updates that were done. Coils, plugs, bolts, heads, timing chain tensioners for the Carrera. That job was done as well. It's an update, I guess, if you will. That was done. She cranks up on a dime, plenty of power, great oil pressure, runs cool as she should. The job was done probably 200 to 300 miles ago, maybe call it 400 miles ago. And about 200 miles before then, it went back over the shop for a valve adjustment. So that's dialed in nicely. Now, the AC does not work. The belt is still on it. The AC cooling fans inside and heat, all those work as they should. If you turn the AC to the on position, this does actuate. The compressor doesn't, the clutch doesn't engage, I don't think, but it engages to where the system is working. I've priced a few of these out already. It's between $2,000 and $3,000, I think, to do like a full-on swap over. She's running like she should. She's driving like she should. If you want to put air conditioning in the vehicle, you most certainly can. It's in great shape. It's not perfect, but it's extremely nice. And I'm very particular and I'm probably very critical. So all the things I'm talking about that people are paying attention to, and all the little nooks and crannies that I wanted to make perfect, a lot of folks may not even care. I was really concerned when I received the car about this little tape line right along here. It's okay, it's not perfect. Like I said, I am a whole lot more particular than the average person. I know a Porsche buyer, an air-cooled buyer, is probably as particular as I am. So I want you to be aware of that. AC does not work. Cooling fans work. I'm sorry, the AC blower motor works inside the car. That works just fine. It's actually pretty quiet. It cools off a little bit, but it does work. Chad, come over here a second. Now, I am full disclosure. I want a customer to know exactly what they're buying from us. I don't care if it's a $3,000 car. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. I want you to zoom in right here. Or not zoom in, but just get a little closer. You see a section right here? Now, this is a plastic or rubber insert, and it separates the bumper from the body. They're on the front and they're on the rear. There's actually 3, I think, or 2 on the front by the bumper back there. Well, anyways, when these cars were painted as maybe I would have had it painted, this comes off, and you take the plastic piece to the side, or you get a new one, or discard it, or whatever it happens to be, and you reinsert it. Well, when this car was painted, they actually painted over that. So I wiggled at it, I fooled with it, I tried to make it break and crack up in here so I could say, hey, you know what, I want to repaint the whole car. It didn't do it. So I started to tape it off. I was like, that's not going to look right. So I actually taped off this area right here, taped the whole quarters off, and I did a matte finish from Transtar. And I've scuffed at it, I've fooled with it. It gives the body line color there without the bumper having to be pulled off, separated, possibly cracking the paint above it. The same thing goes for the front. I did the front the exact same way. It looks correct. I'm letting anyone know in case they ever have, whoever purchases the vehicle, hey, you know what, I'm letting you know ahead of time. These weren't separated and painted, they were separated, or they were not separated. They were painted with the bumpers on the car without disassembling. I would have taken this off, separated it, of course the body would be over here. Now, that being said, with what was not separated as I would have separated it, These were removed. The wiper sprayers, I guess this is a separator. I mean, it's the trim piece. This was separated. The door handles were separated. The windshield and the back glass came out and received all new rubber inside of there. So you do, where it's really important, you do have separation. The bumpers you could if you wanted to do that. I should get real particular. I don't know. These were separated. These are, you can actually look at them. These are actual separate, separate. These weren't painted over. The paint quality, the layout, the wet stain and buffing is extremely nice. It was just some of the nooks and crannies that weren't up to my standards. Most people might be fine. I want it as right as possible for the money. I'm not going to just throw a car out there halfway and say, hey, it's only, we only priced it at this, and you go figure it out yourself. I have the talent and the knowledge to do what I did to bring this car up to snuff, to bring it up to where you can carry it to a Cars and Coffee show. Hell, go resell it. I don't care what you do with the car. But we've priced it fair, but we're going throughout this vehicle and showing you all the good and all the bad. So when this vehicle arrives in your driveway on a transport truck, you're not surprised. It can sit in my garage for 5 years. I can sell it next week. It doesn't matter to me. We're always keeping neat cars at our store. We always have a good time. But I want you to be sleeping good at night when you're thinking about your vehicle you just purchased being shipped to you. I've been through enough times, enough issues where I have bought a car sight unseen, videos weren't done, someone told me the car was great, it shows up and it's not what I thought it was. I'm not mad, it was my fault for not doing my due diligence, thinking getting on a plane, flying down there to put my hands on it. Therefore, Chad and I, say hi Chad.
Hello.
We do videos in depth, good and bad. Ain't hurt my feelings, don't buy my car. Buy my car, enjoy it, call me when you receive the vehicle. We're gonna show you all the good and the bad. Let's keep going. This interior is in gorgeous shape. Come around here, Chad. Door panels are in great shape. They're not pulled back or anything. Door panels are solid. These aren't warped. Like I said, brand new window film. This interior is a vinyl seat. John Thurman does our interior touch-ups for us, normally on leather and things, but we matched up the correct color. He used a water-based system with a synthetic plasticizer, I think is what it's called. These actually feel very nice. I think you get a lot of life left in them. I just didn't really feel like putting all new seat covers in the car when for $300 you could shoot them correctly and they'll last for a good hopefully a couple years. It all depends on how you take care of it. Now over time, these had pulled back, the threading had pulled back on these. So I carefully glued it to the seams, to the corners, and it's not picking, it's not moving back. That's something to be aware of. The threading is now gone on these, okay? Now I'm gonna walk on the other side so they can see the dash. Hello. We have in the box about a $380 dashboard cover. It's in plastic, it's molded to this, it's brown, looks just like this. I didn't want to put it on yet because someone may be fine with the factory cracks because this car is 40 years, is her 40 years old, 80, 19, 80? Yeah, she's 40 years old, actually 41 years old. I've already trimmed it to where the edges fit fine. I think it'll lay nicely, but you are supposed to put silicone glue and things like that down to lock it in place. Now I have installed plastic dash covers on a lot of Mercedes, 450s, 560s. They kind of rattle sometimes, they're kind of loud. This is not making any noise. You've got 3 cracks. I don't think they look that bad. So we elected to not put the dash cover on and sell the car with the dash not repaired. I actually got a hold of John, actually today when he came by, and we asked about this. And he's like, I could feel it. It's hooked to the firewall. If you rotate the car, because the body does flex, it might crack and look worse. So just let it be, and that's what we decided. I mean, he could have charged me several $100s and done it, but he's like, I wouldn't do it if it was my car. The radio, all the wires are there, it's hooked up, the speakers are fine. I don't know why it doesn't come on. You hit the source button, it's supposed to light up. I don't know, 12 volts to 2 speakers, it's probably not tough to swap it out. All the wires are easily accessible, they're all right. I just let them be. This is a 64,788 mile car. Zoom in on the odometer, speedometer, tripodometer. A lot of vehicles will show up with a 0.00, and that means it could have 60, 70, 40, 50, how many thousand miles? And if that says 0.00, you don't truly know how many miles are on this car because who knows how long ago those odometer gears stopped working. These work fine. Now, we all like Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson, and there's that song, It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? I set the clock for 5 o'clock. The clock doesn't work. Actually, it was funny though, it was actually a few months ago, I tapped on it, it did move for a second. And then it didn't move anymore, so I went in and manually set it for 5 o'clock. So when you're riding around in your Porsche, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, okay? I still may do something with these. I made a small hole in them over time. I think it's like a horsehair or a foaming that's inside of there. It's just going bad over time. I couldn't find any in brown. I guess if I searched a little harder, I probably could. They work. Every so often, just push them up. They get a little balloony sometimes. But I left those there, so that's something to pay attention to. Headliner is in amazing shape. The headliner is absolutely gorgeous. It's white, actually. It's kind of cool because it reminds me of like my dad or my mom. My dad wrecked it years ago, bumped into it. Actually, I drove into a woodpile too, but an old Beetle. So that's the same pattern for the headliner for the Beetles. Fog light or overhead lights work on both sides with no problem. I do have the seat cushions that go back here. They've been recolored and they look nice, but nobody ever sits back there. So if somebody does want to purchase, if somebody wants to re-cushion them, they can, but the material is set and I guess you glue them back into place down there. This here will show you, actually go to this side over here. Now we do have the new struts on the way. It'll be a day or two before they arrive. You will see photos. You will see some photos, the original car color. Some of the cars are repainted, they're painted the correct color. You'll see in some of the photos I've already taken, all of the AC ducts and the vents and the heater box, all that stuff is behind this, but I actually took a photo with that off as well. So check our photos, you'll see that as well. Spare tires up here, all the toolkit stuff is there as well. I think a cover goes there. That's how I got it, and I probably should have looked for a cover. I just haven't. So there's under the hood here. And whenever you shut the hood, I mean, a few folks have told me it's just kind of how it is. Pull this back here, set it down, then close it. Also, this vehicle has brand new tires on it as well. When you look on our pictures, you're going to see on our website at Southern Motor Company, I guess southernmotorco.sc.com or smccharleston.com. There's going to be a picture of a snapshot, if you will, or of the breakdown of the overhaul work. And you're going to see all the other things that we've done since we received the vehicle, which is new brake booster, master cylinder, a lot of brake line stuff got done, a lot of fit and finish things that weren't done. Motor, top notch. The customer really wasn't thinking about the other things when that got done. We installed new fog lights in it, actually on Sunday. There's quite a few other things that have been done, but there'll be a whole list of all the work done. So when you call us, you already have an idea what you're going to ask. What did we forget? You know, you'll be able to know what we have told you, but the things that we've forgotten or don't know to ask or you don't know to tell you about, call us. Folks, in closing, we're offering a very fair price Porsche 911 with overhaul, with fresh paint, with a very clean interior, clean title of course, low miles. We've gone over the items that don't work. The AC's not working, and the radio's not working. Chad and I will probably take a quick test drive so you can feel the car inside, if you will, the best you can. But we've accurately described the vehicle. A lot of folks don't take this kind of time. They don't care. They want to make that quick buck and they want to go. I'd rather not make the quick buck and do the right thing. You know, if the vehicle gets to you and we've missed something, pick up the phone, give us a call. Let's work it out. I'm one of the few dealers that I know that I don't get mad. I'm not going to get mad about the situation. You know, my job is to put you in a car that you've wanted. It could be, this might be your dream car. This car was probably on most everybody's wallpaper. Several movies, The Dream Machine. What was it? James Woods and with Jeff Bridges. They're running through, I think it was Hawaii or somewhere. He's running through town in a Targa, one of these cars. It's a Porsche 911. Everybody knows it's got the whale tail on back. No one needs this car. This is something that somebody wants. It's a want car. So I'm gonna do all I can to make sure you're happy about your want car. You know, 40 grand buys you a new Honda Odyssey. You know, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a 1980 model car. But It's very fair money for a 1980 Porsche 911. If you got any questions, please call us at 843-277-2983. The guys will do their best to find me. Generally, the car is over across the street in my store, with a lot of other cool cars that we keep. We're not a huge dealership. We probably have 5 or 6 neat vehicles in stock at all times that I've driven, owned, put my hands on, gone throughout. Pretty well versed in. Porsches I'm learning. I did have a, I might can find it, I guess. I did have I had a client who was interested in buying the car the way it sat when we got it. And it had a list of a few things to be taken care of. I think one was like a heater line, and a couple other things we'd already taken care of on a pre-purchase inspection. She's rust-free. There's no body filler in there. I will also include some undercarriage photos. I actually put it up on a ramp today when I finished the fog lights, which do work, by the way. Who wants to see them? Let's look at these fog lights. How about that? But I did take some photos of the undercarriage while I was there. Torsion bars, some of your linkages, your front control arms. I took photos of everything that anybody would think is important. Not sure how this happened. Got a good little nick right there. Not too bad, just a little spot right there. So, but the body is laser straight. It is extremely straight body car. Actually, come over here. In closing, did I already talk about these? All right, folks, I want you to zoom in here. I did not paint this one. I didn't touch this one. I left them the way they were. This needs to come off, pull this molding off. Maybe you can cut it and then put the gasket in there and you're fine. I didn't fool with it because it's not going anywhere, it's not moving. You know, I just wanted folks to see everything that I would want to know about a car. It's comfortable to sit in.
So Chris, how's it feel, man? Hitting the corners, all that kind of stuff.
It feels fun.
Yeah.
This is that same area we filmed the S2000 at.
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
All along here and drifting along here and donuts and.
Wow, it feels great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is fun.
Wow. Yeah. That's good.
Let's get a little faster. Wow, that was like 70, 75.
Yeah, gets up to speed quick.
Very well.
Suspension feels good.
It's solid. Folks, I'm not gonna pussyfoot around and just drive it all soft and stuff for you. I'm gonna let you feel how this car goes. Hey, I got a message. This here will sell the car. Oh, that's Randy sent me pictures of the keys. You know we're having fun? Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hello. I would own this car. Well, I kind of do, but you know what I'm saying. And you can drive it off nice and slow. Now, I will say this. Is it on? It's on. They can hear me okay? So I have noticed it's a little notchy sometimes. Like once you find it, you're fine. But I notice sometimes if you're moving if you're barely moving, like say over 5 or 6 miles an hour, you try and put it in first gear, it goes, I don't think that's that bad. Like I'm trying to make it do it now. But usually what I do is if I'm still kind of moving, I just pull it the second, then push it at first. Slows the clutch down, car takes off just fine. So I just want folks to know that. Like I said, folks, full disclosure, I'm not gonna lie to you about a car. Thanks everyone. See you on the next one. We appreciate you watching us.